Well, week one of the fantasy playoffs is pretty much in the books, but let's talk about the rest of these fantasy playoffs. I'm giving you league winners at every position, all right, including kickers and defenses at the end. I got you. Let's start with the wide receiver position. This may come as no surprise, but to kind of put more fuel on the fire, if you will, Nico Collins. He is going to be that dude in these next two games. He has the fifth best strength of schedule in the fantasy playoffs rest of season. He has Kansas City in week 16, which sounds tough, but they're actually the ninth best matchup for your wide receiver. They have really struggled in their secondary in the second half of the season. They've started to really struggle. And then he's got Baltimore in week 17, which is the third best matchup for your wide receiver. He's been fantastic all year. And I'll be honest, if you've got Nico Collins on the opposite side of your matchup, you should be very scared. You should be praying to the fantasy gods right now. The second wide receiver, now assuming he's healthy and ready to go, he has a chance to really win your league. That is Jorge Pickens. He has the fourth best strength of schedule in the fantasy playoffs. By the way, these screenshots are collected from RotoWire. They do great work. And Jorge Pickens, check this out. So you know how we just talked about Nico Collins, his great schedule? Well, reverse it. And you've got Jorge Pickens' schedule because in week 16, he faces the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are the third best matchup for your wide receiver. And then in week 17, he goes out and faces the Kansas City Chiefs, a top 10 matchup for your wide receiver. Jorge Pickens has been that dude. He's been an alpha. If he stays healthy, he has a chance to really put your team over the line. At number 3, regardless of quarterback play, the man keeps putting up points and earning targets. That is Malik Neighbors, the second best strength of schedule in the playoffs. All right, so Atlanta in week 16. Guys, there's not a better matchup for your wide receiver in the fantasy playoffs than the Atlanta Falcons. The number one matchup for your wide receiver. Then Indianapolis in week 17, championship week. You know, Indianapolis, has really started to pick things up defensively, but they are still vulnerable. And when you have a name like Malik Neighbors, where all of the volume is kind of like going straight to him, it provides an even safer floor. So we have seen the upside of what happened this week. This team is going to be down in all their games, so they're always going to be throwing the ball. Malik Neighbors has a real chance to kind of wrap this ring up for you here. At number 4, now this is really dependent on Geno Smith, okay? If Geno Smith is not healthy, I don't trust this name as much. But if Geno Smith is healthy, and I know he's dealing with a knee injury, we don't know exactly how long it will be, JSN will be a league winner if Geno Smith is healthy. Check out the matchups he has upcoming. In week 16, Minnesota, 6th best matchup for your wide receiver. In week 17, Chicago, which is a bad matchup, but that's because of Jalen Johnson, who plays outside. The slot receiver normally puts up better numbers against the Chicago Bears. Let's hope Geno Smith is healthy, right? All right, the 5th wide receiver that we'll talk about and the last one on today's video is Jacoby Myers. 3rd best strength of schedule in the playoffs rest of season. Check this out. 2 top 10 matchups to finish the year. Jacksonville, who just this week gave a 40 bomb to Devontae Adams, 40 points. And the New Orleans Saints in week 17, who just this week gave Terry McLaurin 2 touchdowns. You absolutely can put up massive points against these two names. Let's hope that Aiden O'Connell is healthy or they get competent play from Desmond Ridder. Let's move on to the running back position. And in case it's not obvious, I'm trying not to give you names that are like I'm not going to tell you that Jamar Chase is a league winner. I'm not going to tell you that Saquon Barkley is a league winner. You know, I'm not going to tell you that Josh Allen's going to win your league. So hopefully that makes sense. And at the running back position, my number 1 name here, Bucky Irving. 2nd best strength of schedule in the playoffs the Buccaneers have for the running backs. Dallas in week 16, which is a difficult matchup, but this team really funnels through the running backs. And then in week 17, the 3rd best matchup with your playoff hopes, with your championship on the line, the Carolina Panthers. Number 2, this is sneaky, all right? I know you're going to clown me in the chat right now. This is sneaky, but I've been talking about his name for a while. Sincere McCormick. The best schedule rest of season by far. Check this out. Like logistically, it can't get better than this. Jacksonville, number 1, best matchup for your running back. New Orleans, number 2, 2nd best matchup for your running back. It does not get better than this, and Sincere McCormick has been dominating opportunities for this team, at least before Monday Night Football. I expect him to do the same on Monday Night Football. but I think he has a chance to be this sneaky flex option that no one's thinking about. Number 3, let's talk about James Conner, who was on the video last week. He comes out this week, has a 30 bomb in PPR formats. How about it, baby? Now, he has the 4th best matchups rest of season. He has Carolina this week, and then the Rams in week 17, which looked like a tough matchup, but last time he faced them, he had a very, very good week. And at number 4, there's a little bit of hopium in this because I have this player in the Flock League, but Jonathan Taylor. At least the schedule is set up for him to succeed. He has the 10th best schedule for fantasy playoffs rest of season. Tennessee, which is top 12, and then the Giants, which are the 7th best matchup for your running back. So he has a shot to make some noise, all right? Hey, Jonathan Taylor, we need you to kind of, get your head out of your ass, brother. I mean, that fumble kind of cost me 1 league this week. I'm going to let it go as long as you redeem yourself, all right? All right, let's move on to the tight end position. Let's talk about David Njoku. He almost played this week. I'm hoping that is a good sign for him to play next week. All right, because he has the 10th best strength of schedule rest of season. And look at these matchups, man. They're so juicy. He's got Cincinnati top 3 for your tight ends. And he's got Miami top 8 for your tight ends. It can't get better than that. Now let's hope Jameis Winston is starting, of course. Second tight end that we're really excited about, definitely going to label him a league winner, is Brock Bowers. 4th best strength of schedule in the playoffs, or 7th rather is what I meant to say. Now, this week he has the Jags, the best matchup for your tight end. I'm facing him in the Flock League. I'm scared shitless. I'm not going to lie to you. And then in week 17, he has the New Orleans Saints, which is more middle of the pack, but the targets are so consolidated for him. I think he still has that really safe floor. Let's move on to the quarterbacks here. We've got Baker Mayfield, the 2nd best schedule rest of season. It's so nice, man. Look at this. Week 16, Dallas, 4th best matchup for your quarterback. Week 17, Carolina, 7th best matchup for your quarterback. I mean, could Baker Mayfield have a better path to a championship for your fantasy team? I don't think it exists. The second player that we really love at the quarterback position is Bo Nix, 7th best schedule rest of season. Bo Nix has the Chargers this week. Don't forget what Baker Mayfield just did this to this team. And then he has Cincinnati in week 17, the 3rd best matchup for your quarterback. All right, maybe you're watching this video exclusively for defensive pickups. Well, here are the best defenses over the next 2 weeks that might be on your waiver wire. The Packers, who have New Orleans next week with no Derek Carr, probably no Chris Olave, the 8th best matchup for your defense. And then you have Minnesota, which is a top 10 matchup for your defenses. And then the Colts, Tennessee, and the New York Giants. I don't think it gets better as far as matchup-based, defensive plays than the Tennessee Titans with Will Levis or whoever they start, and the New York Giants with, again, whoever they start. All right, let's finish off here with some kickers. We don't typically do this, but yeah, let's show the kicker position some love. Chase McLaughlin. Chase McLaughlin has the best schedule rest of season. We had him on the video last week. He goes out, has 18 points. What do you know? Well, let's keep riding that usage. Dallas and Carolina, both top 7 matchups for your fantasy kicker. And the last one, which is definitely sneaky, the Cardinals are the 2nd best schedule rest of season for kickers. They have 2 top 6 matchups in the Panthers and the Los Angeles Rams. So, wow, those are, I don't know how many players. It's well over 10, like the title says 10, but it's well over 10. But those are guys that I think could be league winners. Do me a favor, hit that like button and show some love. Subscribe if you like the content. If you have a question that you want to ask us, check out the pinned comment. You can reach us at any time on our website. And while you're over there, you can get a free account with the promo code LAND, L-A-N-D. I'll see you guys soon. All love. Start sits out tomorrow. Let's get some championships. Now that those idiots are done talking, who needs some rankings?
Hell yeah, I need some rankings.
Then use promo code LAND, L-A-N-D, for 30% off any membership at flockfantasy.com.
Oh.